Good evening. I'm Rich Massotti, a veteran cast member. And on behalf of Richard Cerulli, the playwright and founder of the Demitasse Players, our troupe welcomes you to our next performance. This evening's performance, I will be performing selected works from the playwright's book of poetry, Rich Thoughts for Poor Souls. These are his daily journal entries, mostly penned while sipping coffee al fresco at one of his favorite restaurants on Mamaroneck Avenue back in 2012. Cerulli refers to these as existential brain viruses. He wrote them as an innocent bystander to life. In this work, we will present the playwright's work using incongruency comedy as opposed to superiority comedy to make an observation on our frail human condition. This work is not intended to mock or use sarcasm to make our point, but rather to offer reverence to selected past historical events, mixed with a bit of humor, in the hope of making this work as educational and entertaining as possible. This is just our humble attempt at trying to help straighten out our crooked timber of humanity. Well, we do hope you find favor with our performance. Now, Old world, new views. Vanity. We dedicate far too much time grooming our hair, attempting to look our best and forever good, while we attend to our soul with such little care, not spending our time as we should. We praise ourselves for looking at the leaves, blind to those magnificent trees. We gaze at ourselves just to please, for it is only our blindness that we see. Old world, new views. Eve winked at Adam on match. Adam responded with a laugh. Eve said she likes short walks in paradise, so Adam rolled the dice. Eve likes apples and serpents too. With one bite of an apple, humanity was through. So they moved to a condo on the outskirts of hell to raise a family and pay their heavenly dues. Angels cried when they heard the news. Then Abel went to Chicago to play the blues. Eve raised Cain, living life without a clue, then made it in the book of Guinness World Records as humanity's first dysfunctional family, true and true. Now living off royalties from their reality show, cashing in with plenty of dough. Satan laughs and grins with delight, selling Prozac to all those lost souls who partook of Eve's first bite. Pharaoh vacationed on the Nile on his yacht with his queen fair, watching the Semites labor in despair, oblivious the plague was near. Moses left a voice message for Pharaoh to free his people now. Pharaoh sent Moses a text, it's time to go. Pharaoh, with a change of heart, pursued Moses in chariots of gold, dressed in an Armani suit for history to unfold. Jehovah emailed Moses with instructions on how to part the Red Sea. He obliged with grace and glee. As Pharaoh took the bait, Canaan was now the Israelites' fate. Rome went to war to cast its empire near and far. Rome made history as a rising rock star, conquering the world near and far. Brutus texted Caesar not to be late for the Senate debate, and to dress warm for the cold Ides of March, for the winds of Rome are sharp as a knife. And no, Rome's politics are harsh under her triumphal arc. Brutus and Mark Antony took a stab at fame, danced on Caesar's lost life, taking the blame. Mark Antony made history, chasing
Cleopatra's royal ass, to end his life at the vengeful hands of Rome's firm clasp. Cleopatra's remorse was healed by caressing an arse. Jehovah gave his only son an easy pass to heaven's highway, to earth, telling him, "Son, you must try your best. My creation has turned into an ugly mess." So with his GPS in hand, Jesus exits at earth to arrive as a virgin birth, to heal the sick, feed the poor, raise the dead, to speak of love and to hate no more. Never taking time to rest, casting out demons he does best, wondering if he was sent far too late, fearing humanity will seal its own fate. For his great deeds, Judas throws him a supper to end all suppers for his delight, texting the apostles to bring bread and wine and not to be late. Judas picked Friday to celebrate this weekend's world event, to be broadcast live on cable and YouTube too, with tickets selling fast. The event will eternally last. And with silver in hand and infamous fame in his sight, he caters the event at Jerusalem's best, overlooking Gethsemane and Golgotha too. It's time for the Savior to pay his dues. Barabbas, when set free, shouted, "Thank God it's Friday!" with glee, then headed to the local pub to flee. So with a traitor's kiss, Judas turns over the one he loves best, so the guards will never miss. It is the sin he will never confess. The tomb now empty, Jesus put on his Sunday best to head back home, leaving humanity to fend on its own. Though saints, prophets, and martyrs will be forever heaven sent, the earth is still ever hell-bent. Satan held a fundraiser for Judas. At the court of the high priests, Pilate never returned his RSVP, was too busy sailing in the Sea of Galilee with his treasure chest and key. Judas was awarded with cheap silver coins and a Rolex watch to boot. With guilt, he took the loot. Judas then texted Eve for a date. Knowing Adam was working late, she declined, knowing his fate. Constantine conquered with the sign of the sun to convert his empire near and far, then returned to his vacation home upon the Orient's front door. Calling Constantinople his own Rome was pagan no more, until the barbarians came knocking on Rome's door. Attila didn't return the emperor's call, was busy having coffee with the Pope at Starbucks and knocking on Rome's broken door. And now on Facebook for all to see, he left Rome giving them false hope, leaving Rome hanging by a rope. But you know, Muhammad was running late, took the Haji Express to Mecca, penning his holy book along the way. Another prophet is here to stay. King Richard and Saladin did meet, as friends of battle and enemies by faith. Upon the bloody fields they did meet. Richard retook some holy land, turned his back at Jerusalem's gate. The blood to be lost was not worth the deaths of so many faiths. So on and on it goes. Injustice reigns wherever it goes. Kill the good men, bury the truth, and shine the lie. Humanity can be miserable at best. But do we really want to know why? Knowing we failed humanity's test. Train, 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 take me not too far. Train, 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 stop not so near. Train, 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 your whistle I hear. Train, 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 to the city each day. Train, 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 take me home. Take me into my daily fray. I am not in the city to stay. In the early a.m. on the train I roam. From stop to stop, I'm on my cell phone. No place to call my own, just the earth beneath my bones. This is my kingdom under my throne. I am a king, though unknown. Train, train, train takes me to places I never stop, and to venues I frequent far too much. Old scenes, new scenes, all the same. Nothing changes but seasons and faces. Destiny leads us to these special places. On the train, people look, though never stare. It's always the strangers we fear. Running to the train, I grab my bagel as I watch the businessmen finagle. Pick up a wrap or panini for lunch. Catch the next train as I munch. The train makes me smile, my complaints goodbye, as we clickety-clack past another mile. Laughing at life under a hidden sigh, one thinks, life is but just one big lie. Train, 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 in the dark or in the cold, in the heat or when it snows. Where it ends, no one knows. So on and on it goes, with lost souls, with lost souls dressed in rich clothes, with souls naked and poor. Train, train, train. Shut the door! Uncertainty. Uncertainty is destiny in disguise. For between our dreams of where we wish to be, where the path of destiny takes us, lay the river of life's futility, to be crossed with trepidation and fortitude, for all must forge its swift currents, wise men and fools alike. While we plant our feet in the security of the earth, our eyes wander far into the heavens in search, wishing to soar to new heights, though always fearful of falling in fright. We pray and hope that today's sacrifice will be tomorrow's labor of joy, casting good smiles and memory wherever we go, and to be true to everyone we know. Our dreams are merely the direction we choose to take, though it's the road of destiny we are forced to walk. Choose your course, east, west, north, south. Travel far or near. Never doubt, wherever you turn and walk, destiny has beaten you there. Right is right. Right? And no one can ever be right until someone is wrong. Though nobody can always be right if they never admit they can never be wrong. For it is wrong to believe you are always right, and always right when you can admit you can be wrong. But it is always wrong never to be right. Right? Fantasy of reality. Fantasies should be left as fantasies, for once realized, they cease to be fantasies, only to be reduced to reality. Better to leave dreaming of fantasies as a fantasy, for living the fantasy will render the ultimate fantasy. We should never dream beyond the limits of our abilities, and emotions as well.
Doing so renders our daydreams as our nightmares of hell, one of which we will never awaken from, leaving us numb. Leaving us numb. Good morning. Each morning I climb down into a dark hole to catch a ride to my work abode, waiting for my day to unfold. Standing on a platform with unknown faces, I wait in silence in my little spaces. As a light in the tunnel now appears, a longer wait I can no longer bear. The silver train now appears, squeaking to a stop as it nears. Its doors slide open to reveal more cold faces, now existing to run their next races. So I push and shove my way in with grace, to be squeezed into another tight space. I share my close breaths with distant folks, believing this was some kind of cruel hoax. Along I go to the sound of steel wheels as my eyes gaze the clock. Time is always at our heels. Well, thank goodness I get off at the next stop, pushing my way out the door as I get pushed some more, as my feet escape the crowded floor. I just can't take much more. So, another staircase to run. I emerge from my human burrow. I can now see the sun, high and bright, and a world so recondite. Dancing with ourselves. We dance to our weaknesses, though never stand on our strengths. We often make our decisions on whim, self-prejudices, and biases, to distance ourselves from the fear of finding the truth. For when we hide within ourselves, we will never find our true self, finding comfort in being a stranger to ourself. At our own expense, for honesty is free, though many are unable to pay its fee. Silent journey. I have traveled long, though not far, walked paths high, down roads low. Soon my days will be no more, only a life of unopened doors. I have talked to fools, conversed with wise men too. In the end, they all bury themselves with their shovels of self-delusions. I have cast my smiles to friends close and far, though it's only the stranger I really know. We do hope you enjoyed this evening's performance, finding it thought-provoking, informative, and equally entertaining. With much appreciation for the playwright for sharing a few of his humorous personal journal entries. I'd love to see the journal entries Cerulli's withholding and just have a chance to get into his metaphysical and existential head. Our repertory theater enjoys sharing our dark dramas, comedies, and existential rants that Cerulli refers to as internal brain viruses. And we all experience these, though apprehensive at times, to share with friends, family, and loved ones, and to let them know they're not alone with their hidden brain rants. And it's okay. Rant inside your head. No one else is listening. In closing, we would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to all our supporters and the staff of White Plains Community Media, James Kenny, Rita Santos, Keith Baker, and Sam Singer. Please feel free to visit our website for our full body of work. Until then, thank you and good evening. Be well, be safe, be happy, be nice from the Demitasse Players.